What's Blender? Well, it's basically a free, open-source 3D modeling and animation software. It's pretty awesome. I gave myself 7 days in order to create the best possible thing I could think of inside of Blender. Now, I've had some previous experience with general design, but never have I done anything this complicated before. In fact, I even tried learning Blender years ago, but I kinda just gave up immediately after. My first goal was to learn how to navigate the viewport. Okay, first step complete. Now my next goal is to animate the twin tap. The first tutorial that every new Blender user follows has to be the donut tutorial. Now, I'm no wimpy and clueless user, so I didn't need to follow that stupid. I followed the tutorial. Actually, it didn't go too bad. It only took 4 days. Yep, that's right. I made a goal to make something cool in a week, and the only thing I've done so far is a stupid donut that isn't even mine. It's something that someone else made. Why did I think I would be able to learn anything this complicated that fast? So many tabs.
I made a goal to make something
cool in a week.
something that someone else made.
So far is why did I think I would be able to learn anything? After getting used to most of the main menus I'd be using for the final 3 days, and whatever geometry nodes are, I needed to spend the remaining time wisely in order to maximize what I made in the time frame. So, of course, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is obviously a super easy short animation that involves camera motion and moving objects, as well as hand-modeled objects as a focal point, right? Yeah, so my next project idea was to make a little Star Wars scene. Easy enough. So, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't record anything when I was making any of the projects, so you just gotta trust me when I said I made any of these. Lucky for you, that means you don't have to deal with my suffering of running Blender on a laptop. You're welcome. Anyways, this next scene I made consisted of some models I got from Polygon, as well as a large noise landscape for the background. Now, I wanted to do some of my own modeling, so I decided why not model the lightsaber on my own. This was a terrible decision. For some reason, the faces on the model were glitching out and the details didn't want to parent with the main lightsaber. After a ton of troubleshooting, I figured out the best option was to literally just rotate the handle to hide the messed up faces. Oh, also look at this beautiful HUD I made. Definitely doesn't look bad under close inspection. Now for my next project was something that I've been wanting to try for a long time. I've been a big fan of LEGO, so why not try and make a simple LEGO animation? My first step was to download the Mechabricks add-on and download some free 3D models. For my scene, I wanted to recreate a small portion of the ending of Rogue One, so I built the hallway with their editor and imported it to the file. Really, this was quite easy compared to my other quote-unquote animation. There was literally a single linear moving object on the last one. How does that count as an animation? So I wanted to focus more on the lighting than anything else. I added volumetrics and some emission to the lightsaber, as well as other backlights to create an ominous glow, which I think worked out really well. Riding off of my motivation from the LEGO renders, I wanted to tackle a larger project. So why not start learning smoke simulations as well as object interaction? I never learn from my mistakes. The first thing I needed to do was to learn how to make an object interact with, oh my god, my laptop wants to explode. Smoke simulations, especially if it's high resolution, takes a ton of your computer resources to even simulate. My simulation wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't as good as I'd like it to be. Even with this limitation, I still treaded on. I added a custom LEGO dune model as well as a plane with noise to simulate sand dunes. Wow, so complicated and definitely didn't take me multiple days to simulate and render. Look, maybe trying to make this in a week wasn't as feasible as I thought, but it didn't go that over a week, okay? After all my hardships trying to make this look remotely good, here's my final render. Don't mind the flickering, I couldn't figure out how to fix it, okay? For my last and final project, I wanted to make something that was sizable, longer to watch, and enjoyable. So why not make something everyone enjoys? Politics. Now, just as a premise, I couldn't care for either candidate, so the following render was intended to make fun of the situation as a whole. Anyways, if you're watching this video, you probably already know what render I'm talking about. This is one of my favorite renders I made, and you already know much of the process for how I made these renders from the last couple, so here's the final render.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of this.
So after all that, did I accomplish my goal of learning Blender in a week? No. Of course I didn't. You can't just mash only your favorite things in a program and hope to learn everything it has to offer. I've only dipped my toes into an ocean of possibility, but restraining that to a week is just physically impossible. All of these renders took about a week and a half, so I didn't even beat my initial goal of doing it in a week. But that doesn't matter. I've gained a valuable skill which I hope I'm able to showcase and use on my channel more often, which I think makes this all more worth it. So before I end the video, I just want to show some honorable mentions of renders I made outside of this time frame I allotted myself. Enjoy.
Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about.